The following KQED production was produced in high definition.
And their buns are something I have yet to find anywhere else.
I'm not inviting you to my house for dinner.
Breaded and fried and gooey and lovely.
In the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back.
You've heard of a connoisseur? I'm a connoisseur.
Or they knew I had to ward off some vampires or something.
And let's talk desserts, gentlemen, because I can see you both were waiting for desserts.
Check Please Bay Area is brought to you by the members of KQED and by
IRG has thousands of natural stone surfaces, all in stock today. IRG, online at marblecompany.com. Charitable Auto Resources, urging you to donate your car to KQED's Vehicle Donation Program to help raise funds for quality public broadcasting.
Hi, I'm Leslie Sabraco. Welcome to Check Please Bay Area, the show where regular Bay Area residents review and talk about their favorite restaurants. We have 3 guests, and each one recommends one of their favorite spots, and the other 2 go check them out to see what they think. This week, musician Bill Norwood drums up an appetite for the food, wine, and atmosphere at his favorite eatery. His crazy schedule means that he eats out a lot. So coming home to his spot warms his soul and keeps the tap, tap, tap of his heart pulsating. And PR account executive Amanda Walter is a fashionista and restaurantista. Always ahead of the latest trend, she makes a pitch to promote food and wine, all the while indulging in everything delicious. First, though, auto parts business owner Peter Frank drives a hard bargain, insisting that a restaurant satisfy all 3 of his requirements: good service, relaxed ambiance, and well-prepared food. He gears up for satisfaction and maneuvers himself into position to enjoy the dinner at his place on El Camino Real in San Mateo at Allspice.
We are basically showcasing a restaurant which is a little unique in its profile. It's an old Victorian house. It was apparently built in 1906, part of the Burrell estate. My name is Sachin Chopra, and I'm the exec chef and the owner, along with Shoshana, my wife, and who's also the general manager of the restaurant. The food is quirky and different from most of the restaurants. I think what we excel in is giving you flavor in a dish through an unusual combination. For example, we have a brine pork tenderloin, but it is served with foie gras sauce and like with a spiced okra. So it's a perfect example of having something from an Indian cuisine dish, which is very, very customary to have okra, spiced and crunchy okra, and then have a very American product, and then having a very French sauce to it. So I think it perfectly exemplifies what we're trying to do at Allspice. In my mind, I think when the guests come here, I want them to be happy and experience Allspice in all the glory what we always intended it to be. A small, cozy place with a great staff, with a great smile and unique food. And I think we've been quite successful at that.
All right, Peter, let's talk about Allspice. Now, this is a favorite spot of yours, correct?
Absolutely. For the last 2 years we've been going. It is wonderful. We discovered it, and since then, we've been able to bring guests from all over the world there, and everybody's been impressed. Everybody.
Why is that?
The ambiance, first of all, is wonderful. It's in an old Victorian house that was redone in such good taste that you go in there and you just feel comfortable. No room has more than 3-4 tables at the most, and the service is just spot on. The food is consistently good, and I find it a really good value for what I'm getting. I don't mind going out of there and saying, I just spent $100 for a meal for myself and my wife, and really feel like I got my money's worth.
I'll go with you.
Okay.
And Amanda, when you went, what did you get to eat?
My aunt and I went, and we got the scallops to start, and they were just so perfectly cooked and a little bit crispy and caramelized on the top. It was so good. And this potato, not puree, but like a potato sauce, and it was just enough to make it more than a sauce, but it wasn't heavy. We also got the short rib vindaloo, which I'm still dreaming about, and I will just talk anyone's ear off about it. It's hands down the best thing I've ever eaten.
Really?
Or up there, at least in the top 5. It's that good. The flavors were so unique, and typically in Indian cuisine, like the vindaloo is something that's pretty spicy, but this had just a hint of a kick on the aftertaste, and it was just the meat was cooked so well, it just fell apart when you looked at it. You know, it was so good. I don't know how else to describe it other than you just have to have it.
And Bill, you're shaking your head yes over here. What choice did you have?
Well, I had the venison, and it was delicious. I'm not so much a foodie, but I know what I like, and I decided to kind of go outside the box and have something that I am not familiar with. And the venison I had prepared medium rare, brought it out on a bed of lentils with this little seasoning, these sweet grapes that were underneath it, just an underlying hint of sweetness. So you take a couple of bites and you're enjoying the venison, the taste, the sauce is delicious, and then all of a sudden this little burst of sweetness, it just puts you right there. So, I mean, my experience was great, and that was just my entree, let alone I'm not even talking about the appetizer and the little mushroom soup that they give you, and the bread fritters.
They have a rutabaga soup that I just fell in love with. The soup is brought out in such a nice way. There's a little bit of the condiment, whatever it is. In our case, it was bacon and some kumquats, and then they pour the soup from the tureen at your plate, and it's warm and just sort of comes out at you. It's just a wonderful, wonderful feeling to start a meal that way, especially during the winter.
I mean, he's got dishes like Ode to My Wife Part 2. I want to know what Part 1 is, but you know, Ode to My Wife Part 2, who his wife is obviously his partner in the restaurant.
His wife is the front end, and the Mater D and Shoshana, exactly, who is so wonderful for taking care of us. I'm just absolutely a delight.
We actually did have the Ode to My Wife Part 2. Also curious about what was Part 1, but the Part 2, it was really interesting, and again, it came out of the kitchen not at all like I was expecting it to, but in a really good way, you know. And it was this layered cheesecake almost, but with beets and like this pesto flavored goat cheese and the fresh basil and I think a sun-dried tomato almond crust. But it was so smooth and creamy and so good and so fresh, and it was just a really good way to kind of wake up your palate, I guess you could say. It's a really good way to start the meal.
I think you like this place. I'm getting an idea.
It's my new favorite place. It is so good. You know, I would say probably on the pricier end. It's not a place I would go all of the time, but it was worth every penny. It was just such a delight. Everything. The service was 5-star service. We're such a small neighborhood spot.
And let's talk desserts, gentlemen, because I can see you both were waiting for desserts.
I had something that I had never ever had before. It was called a snow globe. It was served in like a stemless wine glass. It had a scoop of homemade single malt Scotch ice cream with a salted,
like a peanut brittle,
like a brittle, with a huckleberry sauce, and then there was a chocolate disc put on top. Then they come around with a little warm olive oil, pour it in, and the chocolate melts into it. Now you've got your flavors, your textures, your temperatures, and it just explodes in your mouth. It's just the most wonderful dessert I've ever had.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I did.
Now, you have to give people a little bit of clues about finding this, right?
It's in an old Victorian house that's about half a block set off of El Camino. So you have to look for it, and once you find it, you just go right into the driveway. There's parking all around it. You can come at from the back or the front. Either side gets into it.
All right, Peter, this is your spot. Give us a quick summary.
It's a fabulous place, and you feel comfortable bringing any guest. It's just wonderful.
All right, and Amanda?
Definitely some of the best food in the Bay Area. It's a delight. It's very interesting cuisine and worth a try.
All right, and Bill?
I was glad I was able to share it with 3 other friends. More for everybody.
If you would like to try Allspice, it's on South El Camino Real at Burrell Avenue in San Mateo. The telephone number is 650-627-4303. It's open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Saturday. Reservations are recommended, and the average price for dinner is around $50. Bill's Pick, a family-friendly place with a vintage sign and an original menu, has recipes that owner Regina's grandma used to make. You'll find it on Grand Avenue in Oakland, and it's called Sorella di Zza.
My name is Regina Pasalacqua, and I am the owner of Sorella di Zza. Sorella di Zza has been open under our ownership since December of 2005. We are known as a family-friendly restaurant, but the great thing is we have two sides. We also have the Inoteca side, which is the adult-only side. So you get the best of both worlds. It offers the same great menu. There's a dish on the menu called spaghettini. It tastes just like my Grandma Fanny's pasta recipe. Chris, our wine director and manager, is literally a local legend here. He has really built a loyal clientele that comes into the wine bar. They're able to come in and relax, and he has a great knack for choosing wines to match the person. I think it's a great spot for solo diners. We have a lot of people that come in, they're very comfortable. It's very quiet. They have a chance to unwind from their day. And Chris is an excellent host, and he makes you feel very welcome.
All right, Bill, you are a musician. You're a singer and a drummer. Do you go hang out at Zza's? And people call it Zza's.
Zza's, yes. I really love the place. You can take your family, take your kids. They've expanded over years, and they've actually acquired a second building, which became their wine bar. But you can eat on that side as well. But it's really about the people. It's really about the people, the ambiance. The food is great.
And what's one of your favorite dishes? When you walk in the door, what do you think about?
I'm just a fanatic about lasagna. And for the most part, when I go to a place that has somewhat of an Italian cuisine, lasagna is kind of like the benchmark for me. So they changed their lasagnas. You can have, vegetarian lasagna. Mine particularly was Italian sausage lasagna, beef lasagna, ground beef lasagna, and of course eggplant lasagna.
So those just rotate in and out, their lasagnas. Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, their signature dish is the spaghettini, which is delicious too.
With kind of a ragu, a pork ragu.
Yes.
I was looking forward to the lasagna from 3 days before when I read the menu on the internet, and I got there and they said, no lasagna tonight.
Oh.
And for an Italian restaurant, for me to hear no lasagna, that's my benchmark also, Bill. What can I tell you? So we had something that was called half a chicken under a brick, and it kind of looked like that.
Yeah, they smash it down. They take the brick, pound it down.
And so we weren't terribly impressed with the food. The service was nice. I mean, I can understand why you were feeling that this is a family place, because they feel like it's a family-owned.
And did you eat on the side, because as Bill was saying, there's an Inoteca side since 2007, through that little curtain where kids kind of aren't allowed and you have the adults going in for the wine bar.
When we came in, we didn't know. We walked into the restaurant and they just said you can sit anywhere you want.
Right.
And we walked over, grabbed a table that we thought would be a good table. And it was until another family with some noisy kids came in, and then it became more of a family restaurant.
I actually thought the atmosphere was a little lacking. I thought it was a little bit cold in there. The cement floor, the dark brown walls, the brown tablecloths. But I will say that it really made the food stand out a lot, and it was very simple, kind of rustic, very much homemade, which I love. It's comfort food. We had the spaghettini, which I guess is one of their signature dishes. We had the arugula pizza, which I could eat pizza all day, every day. Honestly, it's kind of disgusting, but their pizza was fantastic.
Why?
The crust was just thin enough. It was crispy all the way through, even to the center. And on the arugula pizza, it has a farm egg in the middle, and sometimes that makes it a little bit soggy. But this was crispy all the way through, and a little bit of salt around the edge of the crust. It was really good.
What else is on your?
We just had the spaghettini and the pizza. We had a side of kale, which I happen to be obsessed with kale at the moment. So, but it was really great. A little bit of toasted garlic in there, a little bit of olive oil, very fresh, bright green. It was really, really good. And for $5, I mean, what a value. You get a full bowl of kale.
I'll be honest, I was really, really impressed that they had good coffee. Because so many restaurants don't put, coffee as a specialty, and they don't really do it. This one, very, very good. So.
As Bill knows, having gone there, they do, all their wines are under $50.
Yes.
All the selections, and they rotate quite a bit. And Chris is the wine director,
Chris is
and
the man.
quite a character.
Yes, he is. Beautiful guy. And he's very knowledgeable about the wines, and he does a lot of selecting when it comes to the the vintners and what they bring in, and actually I'm trying to remember the day. You can catch them on a Wednesday. What Wednesday is it where the vintners come in and they offer free wines? Yes, you have to know these things.
It was a great wine list.
You didn't tell us.
I didn't know you then.
So you got to go back with him. I have put in the pre-order for the lasagna.
When it comes to wine, You've heard of a connoisseur? I'm a common sewer. Everything goes down. I love it.
And did you feel you got, value? Is this a place you'd go back to just for
absolutely.
casual meals? Or?
Absolutely. It was a really good casual spot, but also felt like, kind of like you said, a family place and a really good place for just a casual celebration too. And definitely worth, it was great value. I think it was $30 per person, maybe with drinks, and it was great.
Because of what happened to us, it wasn't the best night for the restaurant, so I didn't feel we got the best value, even though it was probably the least expensive of any of the restaurants we went to.
Right.
So we were a little disappointed.
I totally understand it.
Bill, this is your spot. Give us a quick summary.
With regards to a nice place to go, ambiance may not be what one would expect from a high end, but when it comes to down to earth, it'll hit you the mark.
All right. And Peter?
And I think I'm going to have a second chance at it. I'm going to go with Bill.
All right, and Amanda.
Very good, very cozy, rustic Italian, good food spot.
If you would like to try Sorella di Zza, it's on Grand between Euclid and El Embarcadero in Oakland. The telephone number is 510-839-9124. It's open for dinner every day with brunch on weekends. Reservations are recommended, and the average dinner tab per person without drinks is around $30. Chardonnay. I'd call it the basic black of any wine wardrobe. Why? Black is flexible, transitioning from everyday pants to glamorous nighttime attire. Same is true of Chardonnay. Sure, we're familiar with the big buttery versions that dominated the market for years, but guess what? Chardonnay is sleek too. Its spiritual home is in the Burgundy region of France, where in places like Chablis and Pouilly-Montrachet, it reaches heights of greatness. These pure, focused whites can age for decades. But if you can't wait that long, seek out unoaked versions and those with just a kiss of spicy character that comes from aging in French oak barrels. All over the country and all over the world, Chardonnay reigns. And just like black, Chardonnay can be slimming. Only 125 calories in this glass. Now I can fit into the little black dress. When is a chain not a chain? Amanda says when it's her pick. Each eatery within this restaurant group is designed to match the location. Want to judge for yourself? You'll have to go to Montgomery Street in San Francisco to try Hillstone.
This Hillstone is definitely unique compared to the other Hillstone concepts. I think we do explore a lot more here because we have access to so many things, and that keeps the menu dynamic and interesting, and I think that's what a lot of the regulars come back for. I'm Anna Garay of Hillstone Restaurant here in San Francisco. We have everything from sandwiches, steaks, something for everyone to choose from. Every day, lunch and dinner, we have an exciting feature that we like to run. I'm lucky to be in the Bay Area where I have a lot of inspiration. I definitely dine out a lot, go to the farmers markets, see what's fresh, see what's available. We always source the highest quality ingredients, doing local vegetables. We get all of our beef from Allen Brothers in Chicago. We get our cheese from Italy, the 24-month-aged Reggiano. We want to make sure we're getting the best ingredients for our menu, and we're preparing everything fresh every day. We try to accommodate our, our furry friends. From time to time, you may see a dog sitting at the front door. He's just waiting for one of our house-made biscuits, quite popular in the neighborhood.
It's our favorite place. We live right up the street. We come here all the time.
It's always exciting to see what people enjoy, see their feedback on different menu items. I may not remember everyone's name, but I do recognize the way they order, and it's one of my favorite parts of the job.
All right, Amanda, people think chain restaurants, oh my God, and this is about a 50 restaurant group, including some in Napa, like the Rutherford Grill. And
Hillstone used to be Houston, so it is unique. In each restaurant within the group tries to blend in, like you said, with the city that it's in, and I think that Hillstone does a really good job with that. It's a very sophisticated environment without being stuffy. It's a very comfortable, casual spot. It's a traditional steakhouse without being over the top. It's not expensive. It's very approachable. And what I like the most about it is it's really flexible. It's great for business meetings, dates, just music, and they have live jazz, so it's great for that with friends or celebrations.
What should everybody try?
I always get the wood-grilled artichoke. No matter how hungry I am, how not hungry I am, no matter what else I plan on eating or don't plan on eating, the wood-grilled artichoke is hands down the best thing on the menu. First, it happens to help that I love everything artichoke, any kind of artichoke anywhere. But it's just it's 3 halves grilled right on the grill over the fire, and the edges of all of the leaves are just not burnt, but they're just crispy and just really salty on the edge. I'm a big salt fan, so that really sells it for me. And the aioli that they serve it with is something that no matter how many times I beg somebody for that recipe, they'll never give it to me. But it's so good, and I crave it every single day.
All right, Bill, sing me the artichoke song. I hear you over here.
I love it. No.
Going, oh, I love it.
No, I'm just listening. I love artichokes, and the way this is prepared, the way she's saying it, I'm hungry now. Because I had the artichoke and spinach dip.
Oh.
And I had the wilted spinach, and I had the whole one. Well, I can go on and on. It was a great experience. I like the fact that they hired a lot of young people for servers because they're very, very keen. They're very well trained. They're very attentive. Because responsive like that.
Fabulous service. That was your experience,
Fabulous
Peter?
service.
Yes.
Absolutely. They were always paying attention to you, no matter where.
Exactly.
You saw the waiters. They were just always looking.
And it's a big place. It's constantly moving and bustling, and it has quite an active bar area. What did you have when you went, Peter?
We started off with appetizers, and this is the first time I can ever remember taking an appetizer home. Really? It was so good. It was large.
Generous portions.
Huge portions. We had the smoked salmon and the artichoke and spinach dip. And both of them were just so good that we finished the salmon, and then we said, this has got to go home with us, sorry.
And then what did you move to after that?
My wife had the salmon, and it was excellent. It was served just very lovely. It was done just the way she likes it. She likes it just a little bit medium rare, and it was done perfectly. I had the ribeye. The taste was phenomenal. It was
the Hawaiian
little
ribeye?
bit too salty for me. No, the regular ribeye.
Regular?
It was just a little bit too salty, but that was the only criticism I could have at all of the restaurant. It was just wonderful, wonderful taste of everything.
Right. And what else do you get besides the artichokes when you go?
Typically, I get the ribs with the coleslaw. Their coleslaw is fantastic. It has a little bit of a kick to it, which I really enjoy. But this time I opted for the prime rib, which is something I don't normally order at restaurants, so I figured what better place to try it. It was great, cooked perfectly.
And they're known for their burgers and veggie burger and those sorts of things.
It's really good.
And you're a meat eater too over there. You
Yes,
guys
I'm
had
a
some.
meat eater.
He's teasing us now. What did you have?
I had the Hawaiian ribeye, and that's what I was asking him. It was delicious. It was medium rare, perfect, just the way I wanted it. I mean, everything about the meal that I had, from the appetizer to the entree to dessert, all great. I love the service. You know, that makes a big difference in how you really kind of take in the meal. And when the service is on point, everything flows. Everything is smooth. The whole eating experience is great. So from appetizer all the way through dessert. And I was full. After my entree, I was done. But when I ordered the key lime pie,
that's what we had. Yeah, that's what we had.
I was finished eating, and I could not stop tasting the key lime pie because oh my goodness.
Now, why is it? What was it? Fluffy and light. Sometimes key lime can be heavy and.
No, it wasn't heavy at all.
No.
It wasn't heavy at all. It was just the right lime to it that just got you wanting more.
Exactly.
And we kept going for more. We were amazed at the service in such a way. We came early because we didn't know how long it was going to take us to get there, and the parking gods were with us. We found a space like a block away and walked over, and so we were there a little early. They didn't have room for us at the time. They said, "Would you please just wait at the bar?" How they knew who we were, etc. Some gal walked over about 5 minutes later, picked us up, said, "Mr. and Mrs. Frank, we're ready," and brought us over to the table. Like, how do they know who we are? We just walked over here.
And it's an active bar area, isn't it? I mean,
very.
It's
it's always full, and you can order the full menu at the bar too, which is another great option. So if you just kind of come in on a whim, you always have a place to sit, and it's great.
Yeah, that says a lot for an establishment like that.
And you need to sing there. I keep coming back to it, right? There's a jazz trio.
I forgot to say, I was compelled. I got up. I had to tip them. They, sometimes you have live music featured in a restaurant, and they don't really they're volume conscious. They're very volume conscious. It's so tastefully jazz. Yeah. It was great. It was great.
It suits the atmosphere perfectly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Amanda, this is your spot. A quick wrap up.
It's a great traditional steakhouse. Definitely breaks the mold of any chain restaurants that I've been to, and it's fantastic service.
All right, and Peter.
I was so thrilled that we went. It was just a delightful, delightful meal. I recommend it, and thank you very much for recommending it to us.
Okay, and Bill.
In the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'll be back.
If you would like to try Hillstone, it's on Montgomery at Francisco, just off Embarcadero in San Francisco. The telephone number is 415-392-9280. It's open for lunch and dinner every day. Reservations are recommended, and the average price for a dinner without drinks is around $30. So I want to thank my guests on this week's show. Peter Frank's regular spot for dining is Allspice in San Mateo. And Bill Norwood comes home to Sorella di Zza in Oakland. Lastly, Amanda Walter, who broke the image of a chain restaurant with her pick of Hillstone in San Francisco. Don't forget that you can go to our website at kqed.org/checkplease to add your comments on today's show. It's where you'll find more details on all of the restaurants featured and where you can watch a segment or even download a whole show. You can also read my notes on the wines we're drinking today, my delicious Chardonnay and Grenache blend. And don't forget, you can stay in touch with us via Facebook and Twitter. So join us next time when 3 new guests will recommend their favorite spots right here on Check Please Bay Area. I'm Leslie Sbrocco, and I'll see you then. Cheers, you guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
This show is available in high definition, on demand, and via podcast. For additional information on the restaurants featured, to comment, or to apply to be on the show, go to our website at kqed.org/checkplease. Check Please Bay Area is brought to you by the members of KQED and by
Charitable Auto Resources, urging you to donate your car to KQED's Vehicle Donation Program to help raise funds for quality public broadcasting. IRG has thousands of natural stone surfaces, all in stock today. IRG, online at marblecompany.com. A KQED HD production.